అందరికీ నమస్కారం. తెలుగులో మాట్లాడేదా ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడేదా? రెండింటిలో మాట్లాడేదా?
ICR students will be there.
Okay, so if people are there not knowing Telugu, who will speak? No. So, good afternoon to you all. And first of all, I need to thank Vice Chancellor because he has heard me speak. Despite that, he has requested me to come and address you all because my whole speech is against the modern day agricultural practices and the food that it has generated all over the world. And without mincing words, it is these fertilizer companies and pesticide companies that have been controlling all the world with reference to the food that the human race is eating right now. And that being the case, the pharma companies are the sister concern of these fertilizer companies, and both together have been running the show. And then, in the name of science, in the name of progress, in the name of development, we have been becoming sicker and sickest. The reason why I use these three terms is that WHO keeps declaring once in 5 years the number of cancer patients, the number of diabetic patients, the number of BP patients, the number of patients who are thyroid. All these numbers, if you actually add up, there are 28 people who have thyroid problems. There are 32 people who are already diabetic, and they have also introduced one more, pre-diabetic. That means you are going to be diabetic. Another 16% already, and 42 people are taking BP tablets. 16 people are taking sleeping tablets. I mean, if I don't get sleep, so I take some tablets. 16 people are taking that they should not sleep. If they sleep, keep sleeping. They don't know how to control sleep. So they are taking tablets not to sleep. Whereas 28% of people are waking up in the night to urinate. Old people, you're thinking no. Young people, 12 out of 100 people below age of 30 are waking up twice in the night to urinate. And in fact, 70 people in the east and west together are not able to go to toilet in the morning free. So now you add up 70, 38, 16, 28, all if you add up it's coming 200. But we are saying out of 100, 100, 100. That means each person doesn't have one disease, they have two diseases. In fact, the number of patients that come to me saying that they are taking 8 tablets, one for this, one for that, one for this, one for that. The number keeps increasing. So the number of patients has been increasing each and every 5 years, that is from the WHO list. So overall, these were the diseases that we are talking about. Ultimately, what is happening actually is there are a number of cases where the kids that are born in the last 5 years, they have named another, actually it's not a disease, but they have named it as attention deficit syndrome. So that means by the time the kids grow up to 5 years, they are not able to concentrate on anything. And they behave a little different. And then they call them different names. That kind of kids are born in the last 5 years. That percentage has gone to 13%. It was 3 or 4 in the last 20 years. And they are estimating by the time 2025, in the next 7 years, that's going to be 28%. That means the kids that are born are not going to be alright. 28 kids out of 100 are not going to be alright. So we are not talking about diseases. we are talking about birth of completely different kinds of kids, which clearly tells that the disease has now gone from out of our bodies, it has gone deep into your genetics. That means there are more than 40 women who have ovarian problems. There are more than 60 men who have their sperm count come down to 30 million. So what is the normal range of sperm count? Should have been between 70 million to 150 million. Now 60% of the men in the world have less than 30 million. And the same WHO just recently, 20 days back, has declared that in another 15 years, it is very difficult for human beings to procreate. There will be no kid born because the sperms are going to be completely dried up sooner than later. So I'm not just now talking about diseases like diabetes, cancer, HIV, SLE. What is SLE, you know? Lupus. Systemic lupus erythematosus. I mean, they don't know what it is actually. What it means is that your own immune system is going to attack your own cells. So it can be anywhere. It can be in the brain, it can be in the muscles, it can be in the heart, it can be in the kidney. You never know what happens. So they keep you on steroid drugs. And that itself creates problems after a few months or years. So this kind of complicated issues have been generated by present day living. And the numbers are increasing enormously and with big concern. And the present day medical system is falling short. Absolutely falling short because the system is not based on scientific propositions. They just keep doing, oh, your arteries are clogged, we will make it dilate. So they keep dilating. After dilating for some time, what happens? It also dilates other parts of the nerves. So something else happens. Oh, no problem, another tablet. So once you go to a doctor, sir, how long I have to take this BP tablet? What are you asking? You have to take lifelong. Sir, I have arthritis. How long I should? To take lifelong. Sir, I have thyroid. How long? Lifelong. So there is no disease now when you go to your doctor. That's what he said. The hospitals are railway stations. I mean, actually, I never expected Vice Chancellor to compare it so harshly. I myself have not done in my all lectures that harshly. I've been only telling that doctors are telling you to take tablets lifelong. But then, actually that tells how bad things are, And if a small girl gets arthritis, they're telling you to take tablets lifelong. And 20-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls, in fact, girls, the problems have increased because the age that the girls are menstruating in our country right now has come down to average 9 years, which was 15 years, just 30 years back. So it's not just diseases, we are changing the people, we are changing the women, we are changing the men, and we don't understand that we are doing because many of the girls have now mustache on their lips. And no problem, we have beauty parlors. So people are running to beauty parlors as if it's a big thing. Oh, we have laser technology to remove your hair. In fact, in America, women shave more than men. As simple as that. And no one talks about it. No one cares. No one cares. What is happening here? Of course, things are happening outside the physical world. For men, it is the other way around. They don't have sperms at all, and they are not able to control their urine. Once they start urinating, they have to run because it doesn't hold. So that's why we have attached bathrooms in our houses. So from bed straight to the toilet. Can you believe this? We want to sleep in a place where there is toilet. But nowadays no one has any objection to say, I have attached oh, if you don't have attached bathroom, you are not building the right house. So every room has attached bathroom. That's how people are, when I went to just grow pravesha. See, we have 5 rooms. Each and every room has a toilet. I said, what? I can't believe this. But then it's okay with this. No one is thinking the way I am thinking. Why the hell should we have so many toilets? You spend 2 minutes and come back. That means they are not able to come back in 2 minutes. They go and sit there half an hour. Am I right? That means we do not know how to shift properly. That means the human race has stopped doing the things that has to happen naturally. Everything has become unnatural. And these doctors are telling so many vague reasons. I have diabetes. Oh, it's lifestyle disease. I don't understand the word life and lifestyle because lot of professors in the big universities have got diabetes. Lot of women who do not even come out of their houses have diabetes. Lot of kids, 6 kids out of 100 have got diabetes. And I go to tribal places where they are called Hadis. That means they just put their huts, work for their 2-3 months and then they disappear and they go to some other place. Even that communities have got diabetes. Kids, ladies, communists, Naxalites, RSS, Muslims, Brahmins, Americans, New Zealanders, everyone has got diabetes. No one, it doesn't spare anyone. In fact, if you take 100 MD, MS doctors, 20 people are diabetic. What's going on? 100 young boys and girls below age of 30 now have got diabetes to the extent of 6%. That means there are people below age of 30 having diabetes 6 out of 100. So, till now, no one thinks it is a serious problem. No one thinks it's a problem. That young girls are menstruating at the age of 9. In fact, the other day someone called me. As he explained, I am a very busy doctor. 3-year-old girl has menstruated and they are not able to stop even after having 3 steroid injections costing 6,000 rupees each time. And this is the seriousness of the issue, and everyone is very busy painting their hair, watching TVs. And TV people are very busy doing something else. Some actor ran away behind someone, oh, that they keep showing for 3 hours. What the hell? Let him run. Why should we bother about showing 3 hours on the TV? That means each and everyone is doing something and not bothered about the real things that are happening. And each and every day, farmers are committing suicide. You know, 33,000 people are committing suicide in a year or something. That's a small number. Why are they committing suicide? So all these issues span various dimensions. Why is it that a small girl menstruates? No one asked this question. Why is it that there is moustache on so many women's lips, which there should not be? Why is it that sperm count is disappearing? Why is it that so many people are taking BP tablets? Why is it that people are taking tablets to go and shit? These are all things that should not have been there if we proclaim that we are all scientifically advancing in the future. There have been millions of books written about all these diseases. And in fact, there have been minimum of 20 Nobel Prizes in the last 30-40 years about these issues. So after having given Nobel Prizes in this field, still the numbers are increasing means, what have they done? These are the questions that popped up in my mind when I just first went to America in 1987 and noticed a girl menstruating at the age of 6. So I was approximately 27, 28 years age, and then first time I go and see a girl at 6 years age menstruating, I asked that doctor, why is it that girls menstruate at 6? That doctor, American, casual, we don't know. So that callous attitude really irritated. And so we call ourselves scientific, civilized and advanced, and we are not interested in a small girl's suffering. And if it is 1, it's okay, if it's 2, it's okay, 3, is it okay? Now it is almost 30 crore girls are menstruating below the age of 10. And nothing is bothering this human race. And many women are not able to menstruate properly. There are a lot of issues. All this has happened just because of only one thing, that human race declared milk the complete food and started teaching in every school and every science book there. And people have been drinking milk in large quantities because they have injected oxytocin and estrogen into these cows and made the cow milk more and more, 15 liters. Because these companies want to use their chemicals, they made this happen, and then they said milk is good, milk has calcium, milk is complete food. And what they have not told us is it has also got oxytocin, it has also got estrogen, which is screwing up our hormonal balance. So how do you know all that? I just said, whoever comes to me, don't drink milk. Lo and behold, in 6 weeks, kids who are not sleeping well, kids who had viral diseases, kids who used to make a lot of Allah, kids who had ear pain, kids who used to fall down very often. All these kinds of kids in 6 weeks after stopping the milk became all right. No, we need to clap. There are a lot more stories. And the next thing that we did, to sell this plastic bottle, we call it water bottle. If I were to ask the question which I used to ask, but nowadays I am not asking that question. I show this and say, what is this? You will say water bottle. But this is plastic. The companies want to sell plastic in large quantities. They invaded and made this water present in this bottle. And believe me, this water bottle, just changing the temperature 2 degrees in 3 hours releases plastic nanoparticles. Whatever this is made of are there in this water. And then, which I have been telling for the last 20 years, that it will go and stick to your small intestine where the cellular movement, the absorption of selenium, copper, zinc, metals, small quantities, picograms, nanograms. And that absorption has been stopped because of this hydrophobic condition that this water is creating in your system. And then now, in the last 20 days, the so-called great scientists have figured out that each and everyone who is shitting, the shit is plastic nanoparticles. And how much more is sticking inside that. And that is the reason why people have been losing their hair. And the whole Western world had lost their hair long back, and they were searching for, and our Papa had his hair business zoomed. But then in 15 years, when we also started this water, milk, oils in all these plastic bottles, for whose convenience? For the convenience of these plastic companies, we started drinking water. And they started selling water. Can you believe we are selling water? It doesn't strike you. For me, selling water means it looks awkward. How can we sell water? So no one has asked this question, isn't it? Because you're all used to it. You're buying water. But when I grew up, I used to play and run straight into someone's home and say, "Neer pode." Just give water. They used to give water. When we used to travel, we just go out and say, on the road, go into some house, please give water. They used to give water. And that was the condition when I was going. So I can't believe, even today I cannot believe that I am buying water. How can you think of buying water, selling water? But that's what we have found. Because these companies wanted to sell their plastic, nothing else. So what did it do? Just gone and stuck into your small intestine and not allowing these wonderful macronutrients to be entering into your blood. And then you started losing your hair. Then the doctor say, "Oh, you have thyroid problem. Come and take that." What did they do? They made us drink this water, and then the nutrients that are supposed to maintain the thyroid health has been damaged. You drink the milk, your hormone imbalances. You drink this plastic oils, your immune system is getting used. No one ever want to discuss these issues. No university, no scientist, no politician. Because we're all busy doing something else. As I told you, everyone is busy doing something else. And on top of it, we keep giving tablets. Do you really need to give tablet to cure thyroid? Now what do we need to do to cure thyroid? I need to stop drinking this stupid plastic water, the stupid plastic milk, the stupid plastic anything. And that's what I did in the last 20 years. Whoever came to me, I said, "Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this." Okay, don't drink water, don't drink milk, don't take oil. Then what do we do? How do we clean the water? We have been contaminating water. I'm not talking about the chemicals, pollutants that all these agricultural pesticides and fertilizers have been contaminating all our bodies all over the world to the extent that glyphosate, that herbicide that is used for most of the soybean production to make meat along with the corn is now formed 0.08 ppm in the blood of penguin. You know where penguin is? Where does it stay? Where is penguin? You know where penguins are? They are found in South Pole. So, where is South Pole? The ice of South Pole is contaminated with this particular chemical. That means we have used tons and tons and tons of these pesticides in such large quantities that it has reached where actually no one can go. It has reached. And this is the condition that we are leaving for the future generations. That means you cannot drink water because it is contaminated. And then you have these so-called filters. A dream girl comes and advertises, and someone else will come and advertise this. You drink RO water, you drink this water, that water. And again they are running through plastic. What are they cleaning? They are cleaning nothing. Spatika spastanga undi. Agandi ani neelan advertisement. And you think this is clean? It's not clean. How do you clean the water? When water runs in the rivers, when water flows from high to low, the water gets structured because of the kinetic energy and potential energy. So you drink running water, the water H2O, delta positive and delta negative, hydrogen bonding. This takes all the things into its body. When it runs, the positive and negativity will this kinetic energy flow gets structured. That means if there is flow of energy, the water gets structured. And if you store the waters, and then deep well water is a dead water because there is no structure. It has been accumulating all kinds of chemicals and things. So that's the reason why the old generations always said, drink water from running places. Because it runs, there is energy, the water gets structured. When you take structured water, it takes away all the particles of human plastic. So what do we do to clean the water? There are no running rivers at all. The rivers are not running, they are all being dammed for so-called agricultural practices because we want to grow sugarcane. We want to grow 38 lakh tons of sugar every year India grows. And sir said 5 trucks of sheep is coming. Andhra and Telangana are number one in the country, meat eating countries. In fact, Hyderabad alone in 2014 to 2015 consumed 1.87 lakh tons of meat in 1 year. 1.87 lakh tons of meat. To produce 1 kilo meat, you need 50,000 liters of water. And you know how much water we have? We have 3% water on this planet that can be used for the whole living things, out of which 2.7% is locked up in the human bodies and living things and in the South Pole and North Pole. And the remaining 3% is recycled. 0.3% is cycled through rain and all this. That means that 3%, 0.3% of water, out of that 0.2 is used for animal agriculture, to produce animals, to eat. 10 billion cows, 8 billion pigs, 100 billion chicken are produced on this planet. To produce that much amount of meat, we are growing soybean and corn to feed these animals. And this all is very happy situation for all these multinational companies. They keep growing, they keep making this meat. And you know, it's not just like that the whole world is becoming meat eating. The whole 99.9% of people are eating meat. Though our body is designed not to eat meat, we declared ourselves as omnivores in the last 80 years in the name of science, saying that we all need protein. We actually don't need protein the way these guys are talking about. We only need 6 to 8% of protein, which is available in many grains. Eat soybean, you will have a lot of protein. Eat meat, you will have a lot of protein. Eat egg, lot of protein. Eat this, lot of protein. Protein. They just mesmerize people in the name of science. And then we have been eating, as I told you, 1.87 lakh tons of meat. And to produce, we have killed all the animals on this planet by 2025. There will be not even a single animal in the forest. Not even, because there will be no forest. And this is the reason why we are all sick. No doctor, no scientist, no environmentalist is connecting these things. Absolute mayhem they have created. And we are going to hand over this wonderful, dilapidated world to you young girls and boys, and you do not know anything about it. You have no reason to know because we don't want you to know. Very simple. And you are wondering, why the hell am I bleeding like this every 15 days? Why the hell this bleeding doesn't stop? That's how many girls come to me and ask. They are suffering. And they go to the doctor, they give them another steroid tablet. It's because of steroid imbalance that shit is happening. This fellow gives another tablet. So you need to correct this balance. imbalances happen. So estrogen is being pumped into everyone's blood, which is not supposed to be. Men and women together, this is what is happening. That's why the sperm pumps are going down. No one talks about this. I have not come to diseases like cancer, HIV, diabetes, all this. I'm just talking about these non-disease conditions. These are all non-disease conditions. This is the imbalance we have created in our food materials and no one wants to talk about it. It's all happened because of these modern agricultural practices, nothing else. On top of it, we have this medicine, we have that medicine, we have this, that, and keep giving tablets. So you have disturbed it chemically and you want to say that you will cure with some other chemical? What kind of logic is this? The most unscientific things that we are doing in the name of science, in the name of development, in the name of progress. On top of it, we keep giving Nobel prizes for this. So, first day when I met this doctor, he just said like that. I said, what the hell is going on? So I wanted to stop India getting this Jersey cows so that we don't drink this milk and we don't. But before because I was just 26, 27, I mean, I'm just small, young boy, scientist. So by the time I figured out what to do, what not to do, and by the time I came back, everything has come before me. And then in India also, girls are menstruating in the age of 8, 9, and beauty parlors have come, IVF centers have come, in vitro fertilization is in vogue today. When you cannot get babies naturally, that's why we have high advanced technology. No? It should be shame on us that we have IVF centers. But no one is talking in that fashion, in that way. So how do we do? What do we do? And this is all happening in the name of science and development and progress. So 20 years back I came back and said, no, this is not the way we need to live. We need to figure out what is real, what is artificial. And I reasoned everything is artificial, that's why we are all getting these diseases. So if that is the case, then we need to get back to the original real food systems that kept us healthy long ago. So 130 years ago, no one had BP, no one has thyroid, no one has sugar, no one has this shitting problem. Everyone used to go like that and come in 2 minutes. Loading, unloading, everything has to happen naturally because everything is happening unnaturally. That's why you go and sit in the toilet, you don't come out because it takes time. After come out, again you need to go, again go back. Because it's not complicated. All diseases, I'm not talking about one disease. I'm talking about diabetes, I'm talking about cancer, I'm talking about HIV, I'm talking about SLE. All these diseases are created because of our food being wrong. And doctors, scientists are not telling us. So if only we corrected our food, corrected our water, corrected our milk. We don't need to drink milk. Actually, milk is a wonderful thing. How do you define milk? Milk is something that is very unstable, that has to be delivered directly from the breast of the mother to the mouth of the baby. That is what milk is all about. Anything else is not milk. So, a cow delivers its milk directly from its nipple to the mouth of the calf. A tiger does the same thing. A cat does the same thing. An elephant does the same thing. And a human being also should do the same thing. Are we doing that? No. 2 months, good enough, I have to go. I have to take care of something else. Put the plastic nipple, put it in the baby's mouth. That's what happened in America. And that's what is being copied all over the world. And that's what the problem started. So no one should take a single drop of milk. Once your mother's milk is done, you are done with milk. No one. No one means no one. But now, You have any problem, take milk. You cannot sleep, take milk. You cannot not take milk. I have to take milk. I am weak, take milk. Oh, because calcium is there. If you don't take milk, how can you get calcium? This is the question every doctor asks, and everyone is asking me. I said, don't take milk. How do you get calcium? I said, why do you need calcium? You think only calcium available in milk only, never else? Sesame seed, 100 grams, has got the same amount of calcium that you get it from 1 liter of milk. That is 10 times more than your milk. Ragi, finger millet, has got 3.6 times more calcium than your stupid milk. And coconut has the same amount of calcium than your milk. So if you take 100 grams of coconut and make 1 liter of milk, you get the same calcium. Did any doctor, did any scientist, did any university tell that you don't need calcium because you are eating coconut, you are taking sesame seed, you are eating ragi? No. You have to have milk. Because we are making tons and tons of it using steroids and oxytocin. Unless you take, we cannot sell. So drink. Milk is very good for you. In fact, drinking milk has brought osteoporosis. Because the calcium that is in the milk cannot be absorbed by your body unless it is converted into curds. And that's what happens in the human system. When you have observed a baby drinks milk and by chance he vomits, it doesn't come out as milk, it comes out as curds. That means there is lactobacillus in each and every individual human's body. They have 70% of our gut from esophagus is occupied by many of the microbes. And no doctor wants to talk about this. No doctor wants to talk about this. So when I tell you take sesame seed, నువ్వులు తినండి అని చెప్తే నల్లగా అయిపోతారని చెప్తున్నాడు డాక్టర్. కొబ్బరి తినండి అంటే కొలెస్ట్రాల్ వస్తుందని చెప్పాడు డాక్టర్. ఊరగాయ తినండి అంటే బీపీ వస్తుందని చెప్పాడు డాక్టర్. And this is what science is. ఉప్పు తింటే బీపీ రాదు. Because we are eating wheat and rice and sugar, you got BP. Because it is the excess glucose that is pumped into your blood within 15-20 minutes after you eat rice or wheat or sugar or milk. You are getting the excess glucose. You should have 5 grams of glucose in your blood at any given point of time. But then when you take a cup of coffee, when you take Pepsi, drink Pepsi, Amir Khan says, drink Coke, Shah Rukh Khan says, Salman Khan says, drink thumbs up. They are selling not Pepsi, Coke and thumbs up. They are selling 45 grams of sugar in 100 ml of water. How much do you need to live on a complete day? Even if you walk 2 hours on a daily basis, you can only burn 10 grams if you walk 2 hours. And the remaining 22 hours, you hardly need 20 grams of sugar. So 25 grams of glucose is good enough for you to deal with your life happily and healthy. But if you just eat 3 idlis, you will get 20 to 30 grams of glucose. You eat 3 puris, you will get 40 grams of glucose. You drink 1 Pepsi, you get 25 grams of glucose. You eat 1 gulab jamun, you will get 25 grams of glucose. How much are you eating? Are you eating 3 idlis? Pulka, pulao, biryani, all of it, everyone is loading themselves 150 grams of glucose daily. So approximately how much time should you walk if you want to get rid of 150 grams? 5 grams takes 1 hour. So you need to walk 30 hours. How many hours are there in a day? So this is the imbalance that we have created. You don't need glucose so much, but we are pumping in so much. That's why the liver is trying to convert this excess glucose into cholesterol, into triglycerides, into rheumatic factor, arthritic factor, and then blocks in the heart because it makes fat out of this glucose only. Out of this glucose only it makes meat, and that's why everyone is becoming obese. Oh, no problem. We call you obese. It is obesity is a disease. Each one is weighing 70 grams, 70 kilos, 80 kilos, 90 kilos. In fact, the other day one girl came, she's 128 kilos, 18 years. She's in America, and they have done all kinds of things to reduce the weight. She's not reducing. Lo and behold, they came to me. I said, stop all this. Don't eat rice, don't eat meat, don't eat milk, don't drink milk, don't eat egg, don't. So what else? They have said everything. Don't eat, don't eat, don't eat. What else? Get money in Allah. So what do we eat then? We need to eat something that releases glucose slowly and steadily into your blood. Not in large quantities like what we are doing with this present today. Thus I call what we are eating is not really food because it doesn't have any definition. Just dumping glucose. And the body is trying to do all that it can to manage this excess glucose in the blood. And that's what is creating diseases. So this excess glucose, 1 spoon of glucose can make your immunity go back for 6 months. So the present day science, in quotes, is designed to create a disease. Absolutely no one can discuss with you. This is for sure. Granted. Take it for. So, hence, I declare, of course I was only one in 1987. My wife said they were mad for it. I said the whole world is eating wrong. My wife said, you are really a mad for it. Said, I want to change the whole world. She said, you are going to go and hit your head into the mountain? You think it will change? I said, no. I will not hit myself into the mountain. I will go take every step, one stone and keep myself. I said, I will take each and every individual and try to explain to them that what they are doing is wrong. I have started this journey 23 years ago. Here I am trying to convince a big university that what you are doing is wrong. Eat right, you will be all right. If you don't eat right, you will not be all right. Very simple, am I right? So if your food is right, you don't need any medicine. And if your food is not right, no medicine will work. And that is the proof I have now. Because people have been taking medicines for years and years and years, nothing has happened. Everyone is becoming sick, sicker and sicker. Am I right? So what is this food? We have defined what food should be. A food that releases glucose slowly and steadily into your blood. And that definition fits to these wonderful 5 grains that Dr. Khader was mentioning. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people that I have cured. I have cured thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And no one need to come to me. If it is real science, if it really can happen, no one need to come to me. They all only have to do what I say. That means I only have to tell the information, nothing else. So these are the 5 grains that releases glucose into your blood slowly and steadily. That means if you eat this 100 grams, which also has got carbohydrate, up to 65 to 70% of carbohydrate. But the carbohydrate that is present, our digestive system cannot get it immediately. It takes 7 to 8 hours to get this carbohydrate step by step, small amounts, aliquots. It leaves slowly and steadily because the way the structure of this grains, the carbohydrates and the fiber arranged in layers of layers. So from the center, the layers are spirally coming and occupying this wonderful circular grain. So you cannot eat this grain just like you are eating rice or wheat. You cannot cook it because the grain has got 8 to 12.5% of fiber, which is holding all this carbohydrate very nicely. So the fiber has to be completely soaked and filled with water so that it just releases itself to be cooked, otherwise it cannot get it. So you soak these grains in the night and cook in the morning and then eat this food. The rice, you can make any kind of preparations, idli, dosa, all that you can make with your rice, you can make with this rice. And eat them fully, happily, stomach full in the morning. You will not need to eat till in the evening. Absolutely no issues. Because every 2 to 3 hours you get 5 grams of glucose. So there is no rush, there is no hurry, there is no problem for the liver, for the endocrine glands to worry about this excess glucose to make all kinds of problems. So they are all worrying about what they should do. They are doing their job properly because the food that they have eaten is creating that kind of atmosphere. And because of this fiber, which also cleans up all the systems in the body, you are never sick and you are never tired. In fact, if I eat in the morning, I go on and on and on like this till evening 10 o'clock and I don't eat. I don't need it. Till today, I have not taken a single tablet. I am 60 years old. One more, 3 more months, I am 61. That's because I have been eating right food for the last 15 years. And how do I clean this water? Time immemorial in our country, people have used what is copper. So how to create this wonderful energy in the system? By running water, everyone is not going to get running water. So this copper metal has got free d orbital electrons that are rotating all the time. So if you put water in the copper vessel or copper plate in a mud vessel, the water, because it is polar molecule anyway, the rotating electrons make the water structure. That is as good as making the water running. So even if you put this water, which is contaminated with nanoparticles of plastic, it will go and it will absorb these nanoparticles because it gets released from the hydrogen bonding and the structure back onto the plate. The water is now structured. Not only plastic nanoparticles, not only chemicals, even viruses, bacteria are cleaned up because the running electrons kill the bacteria. Running electrons can kill the virus. No other method can kill viruses. So you can do all the circus you want, you cannot get rid of virus from your body. But this method completely assures you of no virus, no bacteria, and then the salts that can be accumulated in the water can be left there, and the excess salts gets deposited. So you really get wonderful water to drink, and that's why ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಧು ಸಂತರ ಕೋಪಂ వచ్చిನ ಇಷ್ಟమైన ರಾಗಿ ಕುಮಾರವನ್ನು and that's the water to drink. And you drink for 6 months, kids who have lost their hair will get back their hair. And thousands of kids, just by changing this water to copper vessel or mud vessel with a copper plate, have achieved this. Lost hair can be brought back in 6 months. If you all drink copper stored water. You keep drinking this water, you won't disturb all the systems in your body. Not only this plastic has disturbed you, it has disturbed the whole world. Because this plastic has reached the stomachs of whales, stomachs of the shark, stomachs of the timingalas. This is killing them. And we don't care. We just keep drinking and throwing this. And we think we are very scientific. So please do change your food, change your water, change your oil. Oil we don't need, as these people are talking. We only need small amounts of oil because we can make fat, we can make meat, we can make glycogen whenever needed. So initially when the kids are growing, you need this fat material. That's when we say, give sesame seed, give coconuts, give chickpeas. The wonderful oils that we can make. So I grew up eating nuvul laddu. Nuvula laddu. తెలుసా తాటి బెల్లంతో లడ్డు చేసుకొని వారానికి ఒక లడ్డు తింటే మీకు క్యాన్సర్ దగ్గరికి రాదు, హెచ్ఐవి రాదు, ASLE రాదు. In fact, all these diseases that I have talked, we have been able to completely eliminate from the systems of the diseased people within 6 months to 2 years, and we have made a list of the food, the kashayams, and how to come out of it in that wonderful book, Amruta Ahara. We have listed around 40 diseases and 15 cancers, successfully helping a lot of patients to come out of their conditions. And people have been very happy, and that's why people cannot see me, because everyone wants to have an appointment with me, and we are not able to. So because I am not able to meet all the people, I thought, why not I just pass the information to everyone. So I have been doing this for the last 20 years, going to each and every village, talking, giving lectures, and informing kids, people, old people, young people, sick people. So I want to stop here because I want to have, no, I don't know another half an hour. But I will stay here so that I can take few of their questions and I can answer. I know I cannot inform you all the information that I have collected in the last 20 years, but it's just the gist of what we have done in the last 20 years. So ultimately, the message is very simple. Grow trees and eat siridhanya. Without trees, we cannot sustain the world. Only trees can sustain us. If you keep cutting the trees to make food, the so-called meat, we will all die, because all the animals have already died, and we are also going to die. Not simple death. We are going to have miserable death, and already evidences are there. So, the future generations have to be all right and healthy. This is high time we made changes in our food. Food is a wonderful thing to sustain life, but we have made it poison, and the whole world is becoming sick, and the younger generations are being donated all these sicknesses by this present generation. So, actually I have come here to clearly warn you young generations. We are the culprits, but we want you to suffer and find solutions. Is that fair? It's not fair. It's not at all. We do all the damage and then say, younger generation have to come on this way. And that's exactly the condition we are leaving. So I was disturbed 30 years ago. I have been working very sincerely, trying to find solutions. Though I am alone, I know I was right, and I am right, and I will be right. I will be proven right if all young people eat right and say, there is no need to worry about cancer, about HIV, about diabetes. And then your kids should say, my grandfather seems to have something called cancer, something called diabetes, something called, and I believe people were all gobbling up something. Instead of eating food, they were eating something else. Because I am so confident, if you eat these 5 grains, not only you, but your younger generation will not even have the shadow of these diseases. I guarantee. Thank you very much.